Hello there. Yep, it's another Friday. How are you doing? I hope you are doing very well. We thank God for keeping us till this Friday, this weekend, and we do hope and pray that we'll do very well this weekend. We'll achieve all that we plan to do. Like resting depends on whatever you wish to do. So you are welcome. Today we are looking at be content. Be content, or should we say be contented? Well, they mean the same thing. Be content. Content or contentment means to be satisfied. To be satisfied. Yeah. So if you ask yourself, am I satisfied with what I have? Or am I satisfied with where I am? These are questions that one should ask oneself, occasionally. It gives you a situational awareness of what you have or of what you want to become, you know. Now, in this context, we're looking at contentment. How satisfied are you? We've heard of stories of people who weren't satisfied, who had to look the other way to achieve or to get, not even achieve, but to get what they thought will satisfy them. And at the end of the day, were they really satisfied? Now, I think that attitude is more of a lack of self-control. I'll tell you a story from the Bible. Remember Ahab? King Ahab was the king of Israel one certain time, and his wife was the notorious Jezebel, that wicked woman. Now, King Ahab was the king, right? But he had his eyes on Naboth's vineyard. Naboth wasn't a wealthy man, so to say, Ahab was the king. He liked Naboth's vineyard, and he told Naboth that he would love to have his vineyard. After growing a garden, for instance, you that I'm talking to, after tending to your garden, you have beautiful vegetables and some fruits, like maybe you have watermelon, you have spinach somewhere, you have pumpkin leaves, you have okra, you have tended to your garden. Your garden leaves, everything, they look very luscious and beautiful, only for the king to now tell you, he likes your garden and he would love to have it. And then King Ahab gave Naboth an excuse, a reason rather, not an excuse, a reason that Naboth's vineyard was closer to the king's palace, and that Naboth should give it to him, then he will give Naboth another one somewhere else. And Naboth said, no way, God forbid. First of all, this vineyard belongs to my family. It's an inheritance. Probably it was even Naboth's only inheritance. And the king, because he's king, who commands everything in that city or in that region, decided that he wants Naboth's vineyard. If it's me myself, I will tactically and diplomatically turn the king down. Now, King Ahab was unhappy to the extent that he couldn't even eat. He refused to eat. He refused to eat for something that was not for him. This was noticed by Jezebel. I'll give Jezebel credit here. Jezebel knew her husband. She knew his moods. On asking King Ahab what the problem was, he then told her about Naboth's vineyard and what Naboth said, this and this and that. Jezebel went to work. Being the chief manipulator and wicked woman that she was, she went to work and hatched a plan. In her plan, she ensured that Naboth was killed. He was stoned to death. You can read that story in 1 Kings chapter 21. Enlighten yourself about it. Now, when Naboth was dead, she then told Ahab, your enemy Naboth is now dead. Go and possess his vineyard. And Ahab, the king, he had no say, or he had no, I don't understand. He really carried himself to go and covet Naboth's vineyard. He didn't have a word of his own. Anything that Jezebel said, that he followed. He couldn't, well, let's leave that one. That's the story for another day. Now, Ahab went to go and possess the vineyard that belonged to Naboth. God, by this time, then revealed to Elijah about what Ahab had done and what Jezebel had done as well. Elijah went to meet Ahab and told him that God is aware. And God, this is what God said will happen to you. That even the dogs that licked the blood of Naboth, or the blood from Naboth's body, dogs will also lick his own. Ahab became remorseful, and that was how, because of his attitude of being remorseful, God said, okay, no problem, it will happen. All these calamities that I said will happen in your time will now happen to your son. Now, but this is not the story. This is not what we really want today. We are looking at contentment. Ahab was not contented in any way at all. He was the king. If Naboth's vineyard was closer to his palace, and he needed another one that was close to his palace, is it the king himself that would have gone to go and start cultivating the farm, if at all his vineyard was far from the palace? Is he not the one that will just tell his people, command them to go and till the soil wherever, no matter how far the place, the land is? I don't know the ones that will till the soil. He will tell them exactly what he wants them to plant, how the leaves should be, and all of that. He was just selfish. He had no self-control whatsoever. And that is a terrible thing. Now, being contented with what you have is a skill that we can learn and adopt, learn it and act it. It's a normal thing. Yes, I know that we humans, we have the tendency to, have our eyes on another person's thing. Or you have your own talent. Your eye self is on another person's talent. Like the Yoruba people will say, Oju kokoro, long throat. In other words, you just want another person's own. You're not satisfied with what you have. Yes, I know that sometimes it could be like that. But is it right? It's not right in any way at all. In fact, the Bible says in 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 6 that it says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. What are we not talking about here now? It's important that we should be content. We should be content with what we have. That means we should learn to live within our means. You have 20,000 naira, and you want to buy so many things, or some things that is worth 50,000 naira, and you are looking at your neighbor who is in the market pricing meat of 15,000 naira, and your throat is in your neighbor's own. Will you not just stick to ice fish or whatever thing, pork or something that you can afford, and then carry yourself and go to your house and manage it with your family? But for where our eye is on another person's own, my friend, stand up and leave that place. It's work within what you earn. That is a big problem that many of us women we face today, because we lack this skill called contentment. We lack it. Now, after today, you can learn it. Stop looking at another person's own. Do you know how he got it? Even if how he got it is in whatever way is good or bad, it's none of your business. You try and work hard now and get your own as well. Instead of looking at another person's own, or you start comparing your life with another person's life. How about, did you come to this life with him or with her? No, now. No two persons are the same. Even twins, identical twins, papa, are not the same. They're not the same. They both have individual, their differences. They have their differences in one way or the other. So that is how we should guard our satisfaction, so to say. We should learn to be satisfied with what we have. Am I saying that you should be satisfied with where you are? In other words, you should not aspire to become better. That's not what we're talking about here. We are talking about your means, what you earn. You need, if you want to earn more, then you do the work. You work harder to get, the more, so to say. Not envying another person who has the same who has something different. You wish the person's own can be yours. Let us learn to live within our means as much as possible. It will help us to stay sane in this world that we are living in. It will help us to stay focused on our focus. It will help us. It's not going to it's not going to add any value to us looking at another person's own. We need to stay satisfied with what we have and live within our means. That way you won't have headaches. When you sleep very well, peacefully. Not the one that you'll be looking at another man's own. Haba. Today, we need to work it out. Today, let us put it on pen and paper and plan what we have and work with it. Instead of looking at Mrs. A's income. You are not Mrs. A, you are Mrs. B now. Face your own and work with it. When you work with it, you have rest of mind. You have rest of mind. So I'll stop here today. Let us try to be satisfied with what we have. Not looking at another person's own. Not envying another person. Let's take away envy. Let's have self-control. Work within our means. Okay? And then improve our own. Let us work to improve, to get better. Not looking at another person's own. Let's turn the other side. So thank you very much. We'll see you again next week, Friday. My name is Onome Odokuma, the extraordinary woman of impact. You want to make impact in your world? Be satisfied. Be contented with what you have. So I'll see you again next week. God bless you. Amen.